Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News. I am your host, Lawrence Johnson. The New Orleans prison escape, people. Calling them the illiterate 10, it is now down to the illiterate 3. You shitting me? If you cannot remember, let's give you guys a little bit of a run through. So it started out, there's 10 inmates. They wrote too easy, not in the correct way. Then there was video of them running, vibing, and sliding up out of there. As you can see, people, do not split the pole. You will bust your ass. Now, we are down to 3 of them left. Someone that also just got arrested was Sterling Williams. He was the janitor of this entire escape. And he basically was the one that stopped the water, so it made it possible for them to cut the hole out and then run up out of there. Skinny hole, by the way. No big backs allowed. But Sterling then came back and was like, hey, man, they said they was going to shank me if I ain't help them out. And so I was choosing life or death, and I was like, go ahead. I'll help y'all out. Go ahead. Get up out of here. But at the same time, I'm like, you working on the inside. You can immediately just start to go snitching and be like, hey, they said they're going to shank me. They're trying to escape. Go get them. And I'm guessing the cops would probably listen to you. So maybe you just got a little bread off the back end, but I ain't gonna lie, Sterling. The prison system is not going to treat you well because right now New Orleans is pissed that these cops, these inmates right here are making them look like dumbasses. They have been caught pretty fast, though. Kendall Myers here, he ain't making 24 hours. Bro was sipping apple juice with his homie and then immediately was caught that morning under a car. People that are still left, Derek Groves, and his aunt has went on Facebook and was like, hey, just turn yourself in, baby. You about to be body number 5. And Derek has a very interesting background because basically his get back, the people he killed, was family members of a cop that killed his grandparents. And so that was his family get back in his mind. I think he gonna be the one that wins and stays escaped the longest. Lenton here, he supposedly only had like a couple months left on his bid and he was about to be out. And so his family members are like, wait, why'd you do that? And I'm wondering the same thing. A couple months left? What you doing? Why the fuck would you leave? Unless you were really like coerced, but even then, if I only had a couple months left, I'm probably immediately doing a turnaround, going back into jail and be like, hey man, they said they was gonna kill me. I just didn't want to get involved, so I escaped and I came right back. Do not add no time. But now you've been on the run for a minute, so you know they gonna add mad time. You might as well cut that hair, get you a little buzz cut, go somewhere. The fact that they all keep on getting caught inside the city is crazy. Gary, he was caught basically in like one of his friends' cribs. And if you zoom on in the picture in the back, I could see dude in the background that snitched on him. 100% got that 20K. And as you can see, they have raised it from 5 to 20K because even they knew 5K was some bullshit. All these people on the run got body charges. 5K? What? Even 20K? I'm like, man, do your job. You a cop, right? Lock in. Tighten the fuck up. Oh my days. Murder's on the run. But I feel like Derek, he just got too much to lose. But then there's Antoine Massey. Now, he got some ugly-ass charges, too. But this is not his first time escaping. This is 4th. And how they was just letting him in some shit like this that's easy to escape out blows my mind anyways. It just doesn't make no sense to me, though. Like, y'all must have not had a very good plan or a big plan or save no bread because I'm telling you, I'm on a train and on my way to Mexico immediately. It's never been easier than be deported than right now. Well, I'm looking right at them. No tu sabe. Que lo que? No mames. Oh, they gonna be calling me Jesus. Shitting me? But like I said, I think I'll put my money on Derek. It's gonna be very interesting to see who actually ends up getting caught and who's the last one caught. Maybe one of them just stays on the run and we can just create a nice little movie out of this. I hope Netflix is working on a show right this second because this shit is just hilarious to me. It could be a limited series. 3, 4, maybe 6 episodes or day by day. I bet these inmates will probably interview too because, they escaped jail and they made social media and now they're one of the biggest stories around. Good luck. What they be saying in the Hunger Games? May the odds forever be in your favor. Just don't injure nobody. This shit is fun until an innocent or civilian person get hurt. That hasn't happened yet, so I'm all for this prison escape. It's like I'm watching Prison Break, but in real life. Shit's amazing. Keep on going, Derek. I got my money on you, gang. Come on, son. Lock in. Donald Trump invited the South African president to the White House, and basically it took place just like how his conversation with Zelensky took place. It was basically Trump just trying to bully him into saying there's a genocide happening in South Africa. Just run the clip.
White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
It just amazes me. It's so easy for him to call this a genocide when not even 1,000 people have died over the past 10, 15 years there. But 100,000 people that have died in Gaza is just, that's what happens. How the fuck does that work? And I repeat, people, there is not a genocide happening in South Africa. And if you think that, just go do like 2 seconds of research and see how many deaths have happened. And then look up how many white farmers and black farmers have died. It's not like, we're trying to get white people. No. And then he's like, they're fleeing the country. Well, yeah, because you're offering them land and a place to stay here. I don't know how that works. But, if shit ain't going too great in South Africa, well, hey, USA, you say, I can do what? Oh, you just moved there for free? Y'all gonna house us? Probably get some bread from the taxpayers and all that? I'm just saying. I just don't understand, if you don't want no immigrants in, let's stay that. Let's keep to that and don't let nobody in here. All right, South Africa, you gotta deal with it, brother. I don't know, you guys own 80% of the land, you own only 8% of the population. I feel like you guys are doing okay. We don't need you here. But not for Trump. And it's surprising, too. And maybe if, him and Elon wasn't bonded in the beginning, he probably would just push this shit off and be like, yeah, all right, man, fuck this dude, even fuck these South Africaners. See you never. But unfortunately, now we're at this point where he has to lie to the South African president and say, hey, man, there's a genocide happening in your country. What are you going to do about it? South African president is like, you guys are funding genocide right now. What are you going to do about it? But obviously, he didn't say that. That's what I would have said, though. Finally, Catherine must have just called on somebody that she wasn't expecting to ask this question, but somebody asked the question.
You've released phase 1 of the Epstein files. What was missing from that is any connection to his ties to intelligence agencies, and that's really the whole story, that not just trafficking young girls, but doing it on behalf of intelligence agencies, and even potentially as part of a blackmail ring with potential ties to the Israeli government. So for phase 2, when can we expect it? Will it have information pertaining to those aspects of the Epstein case?
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. I would defer you to the Department of Justice on her timeline, but when she's made a promise in the past, she has kept it, and I'm certain that she will in this case as well.
I love now that when it comes to Epstein, it's just immediate deflection between Cash Patel, between Pam Bondi, between Catherine, between that dude Bangingo, whatever the fuck his, bald-headed name is, light-skinned dude that swears he's America first, but then as soon as he gets into a position of power, now all of a sudden, I've seen the files, he killed himself. No, he didn't. Everyone else has seen the files too. We all know that Epstein didn't kill himself. But who's on the list? You guys said day 1, and it is now day almost 200, I want to say. And just not a peep. You guys released part 1, which was information everybody already had. And now we haven't seen any information since. And to me, it just has to be because certain names are on there. And the fact that he even took the step and was like, what about being influenced by the Mossad and obviously the Israeli government? It's clear that he was obviously blackmailing people for them. And that's crazy to think about, right? Where Israel took the time to reach out to someone in America and was like, hey, we're going to fund you with these underage girls in a place to live at, and then we're going to wire you up with a bunch of cameras, and then you're going to invite people, and they're going to do illegal things, you're going to catch them on camera, and then once shit hits the fan, you're going to use that against them for blackmail. So we can tell them what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and they can't say shit back, or else their career implodes. Honestly, a Mephistophelian strategy and an elite strategy, if you ask me. Because obviously there's a bunch of sickos that was a part of this country that were willing to partake in this type of sick-ass shit. But the question is, when will we ever see the actual files? Looking like fucking never. And now moving on to genocidal Israel, as always. What have they done in the last 24 to 48 hours? Well, they have bombed a prosthetic leg place where they were like, oh, this is where all the child amputees, which there are now more child amputees in Gaza than all of the world combined. You should know that. Fun fact of information. So yeah, they bombed the prosthetic leg place. That didn't stop. Then there was, aid was finally supposed to get in. It was supposed to be like 1,000 or 10,000 trucks, but now it's to 5. But the trucks that try to get there, As you can see, civilians of Israel blocked the trucks and don't want to let them in. Then you should always hit translate on some of this Israeli media stuff when you scroll on Twitter or you scroll somewhere and you want to see it, because then they say stuff like this, and they tell on themselves. This guy of importance in Israel, and he said, all babies deserve to die, like they're the enemy. That's the type of people that we are dealing with here. Sick shit, right? I know, I couldn't believe my eyes either. And that actually came out of his mouth, like, even the babies over there are enemies. That's the type of genocidal shit that we're dealing with here. And 14,000 babies could be starved in the next 48 hours if aid does not get in. And the problem is, what about the moms? Well, they're so malnourished that they can't feed their babies. And babies can't just survive off water. They need some sort of formula. They need some sort of milk. They can't get any of that. Now, I've said this before. I've said it again. World War II, there was at least a good excuse. You couldn't see this shit. It was just happening in the background, and all of a sudden it popped out, and you're like, that's what the fuck they was up to? And then people, obviously, that were a part of it are still getting sentenced till this day. Now, this needs to happen with them as well. But the thing is, we can all see it. It's on our phone. We're watching it happen. Even if it's just sharing a post or saying Free Palestine or just doing a little bit of research, it should help you in the next couple of years as this fallout begins to happen, that this was an ethnic cleansing and genocide. And then all of a sudden, all these media outlets in different countries started to take this turn of, Israel's doing terrible things and it needs to stop. And it's like, where the fuck was y'all the last 19 months? And it just lets you know that the media and mainstream media really just cares about optics. And it's a timing type of thing that they all agreed to upon, all right, now we have to turn the shit. Israel is terrible. And we've seen it numerous times. I mean, just today, there's European diplomatic people that were visiting the West Bank. What happened? Open fire. Shot at them. Nobody died, nobody got injured. But you're firing on European diplomats in your country, shooting live bullet rounds at them. And what was the response? No arrests, no consequences, an apology. My bad for the inconvenience. They shot live AR-15s at innocent people that are diplomats of the European countries, and then they apologized. If this does not show you that they just shoot at anybody and are willing to kill anybody as long as they are in a certain part of a territory, I don't know what else will. But I'll tell you right now, that is genocide and ethnic cleansing right in your face. And if you don't believe me that there's been no aid that's been allowed into Gaza, take it from this guy.
It's not a back-to-back operation where like Palestinian truck would like offload or unload from the other truck. It's a quite complicated situation where the lorries would load off all of its stuff in the ground. Then the Israelis would inspect them, and then Palestinian trucks would go in and collect them. What happened is that like 2/3 of this process is already done yesterday. The last bit where Palestinian truck have been called yesterday and they have been waiting all night and this morning in this area for the Israelis to give them the approval and the process to come and collect them. There's people in Gaza were waiting all day yesterday and all night for this very most needed stuff to be allowed into Gaza, didn't be allowed in, and until now no one received any aid.
Or if that's not enough, maybe listen to Shaqet Adam.
And if indeed the Foreign Secretary believes the behavior of the Israeli government is abominable, can I ask why a government minister partied with the Israelis just last week while 370 Gazans were massacred and the world was mourning for them? Does that not undermine trust in the UK's role in this conflict?
And don't let mainstream media fool you and act like people in the world are just down with this, because as you can see from this right here scale, everybody hates Israel, that blue and white country. And I hope people of Israel that have sat there and defended what Israel is doing, you're going to have to deal with people hating you now for a very, very long period of time into the future. And I feel like you guys don't understand that type of consequence. People that are regular Jewish and not Zionists have already feeling that, where it's like, holy shit, Zionists are now ruining my religion and how I'm viewed by the world because people think I'm complicit in what's going on. I'm just giving you a warning. people from Israel already weren't the most liked because what was happening since 1948 in the Nakba. But now, you guys are on mainstream doing a genocide, and then there's people trying to defend it and say, oh, Hamas, just release the hostages. They tried. Your government doesn't give a fuck. Crazy world we live in. Speaking of crazy world, Elon, like I've said before, is basically now fully fired. So now he's just hopping in on Zooms with different people. And I'm not gonna lie, it was just hilarious to see how uncomfortable and mad he got that his reporter cooked him, like the dweeb that he fucking is. And she didn't even cook him. She just asked the honest question.
Before the election, you said it was going to be at least $2 trillion. The number currently on Doge.gov is $170 billion. That's a big change. What happened to the $2 trillion?
Well, do you expect it to happen immediately?
Well, is it going to happen? Because Doge is supposed to run till next July.
I mean, your question is absurd in its fundamental premise. Are you assuming that on day, within a few months, there's an instant $2 trillion saved?
No, I'm not at all. I'm just asking, is that still your aim then? If you add that up, it's not going to get to $2 trillion over the lifetime of Doge.
I'm sorry.
The $4 billion a day, if Doge is going to run till next July, is not going to get you to $2 trillion. But you still say it's your aim, so we'll take that as read.
There's what Doge. I mean, I feel you're somewhat trapped in the NPC dialogue tree of a traditional journalist. So it's difficult when I'm conversing with someone who's trapped in the dialogue tree of a conventional journalist, because it's like talking to a computer.
See, that's a loser type of mentality, people. That's somebody that looks in the mirror and doesn't feel good with themselves because how defensive he gets. And then he tries to throw a little jab at her and try to group her in with journalists that, oh, you just don't have any credibility. You're just an NPC walking around. It's like, no, brother. Just admit that you ain't know what the fuck you was doing or getting yourself into. And now you realize that people don't really fucking like you, even if you are in a position of power. And even if you do donate hundreds of millions of dollars, people still don't fucking like you. And now you just have to deal with that as a man. It must suck. And you're probably, going through some type of depression state. Me personally, though, I don't really give a fuck. I'm a hater. I love to see this shit. Speaking of hating, Shay, my bad. I can't watch that shit ever again, though. This is playoff basketball, son. And if I have to see what happened between the Timberwolves and OKC again, I'm going to be sick. I mean, here's just a couple clips. Let's bring up the first one of him doing the step back. Okay, you step back. If you're going to call the foul, right? You're going to call the foul. Then call the foul before the shot. How do you step back? He then lands on two, and then you fade away, and then you give him an and one. Now, let's look off at this push-off bullshit. This is what I understand. How are you going to the basket, slowing up, creating the contact with your right arm, pushing off, falling, and then you get the call somehow? I thought they eliminated this shit with Steph, Trae Young, and CP3. How is he getting away with this bullshit? This is versus Jay McDaniels and Ant Edwards. There's two different clips of this. And there's a lot of clips out there of the bullshit that was happening. He gets every foul call, son. And hey, good for you. You won MVP. Congratulations. But it's like, come on, refs. Let's just be, this is the playoffs, my nigga. We gotta lock in here, bro. We can't just be bullshitting and giving any type of fucking fouls at any point in time. That makes zero fucking sense. And I'm sorry. Shay, you good, you nice, I see it. But it's just like, come on, bro. You can't be a foul merchant. Like, hey, these was tough buckets. You should get the bucket, but just calling random fouls is fucking crazy, son. He had more fouls, more free throws than the whole entire Minnesota Timberwolves starting lineup. How the fuck does that work? And I gotta watch Jalen Brunson. Don't do that tonight, Jalen, because I really want the Knicks. I need a Knicks Timberwolves finals. Because if I get a Knicks versus Thunder, merchant versus merchant foul bullshit, it's gonna be tough to fucking watch. And speaking of what to watch, you already know, is What to Watch Wednesdays. And as AI, Google computing, quantum computing, we keep on taking these steps forward, you need to go rewatch The Matrix. And then you need to go rewatch The Matrix Reloaded. Both of them, absolute insane movies. But when you watch them now in today's world, you're like, wait, hold on. First off, how the fuck were they so ahead of its time? And then also, it's like, wait a second, was this like made by futuristic humans and then like sent back somehow and gave her the idea of how to write this shit? Because like you look at it and you're like, wait a second, we kind of going through this shit like right now, son. And then Matrix Reloaded is just like maybe some of the best fighting scenes I've ever seen. It keeps on doubling down on what's happening and how we could definitely very well be in some sort of simulation. And how do you get out of a simulation, basically reach some sort of enlightenment and understand and accept what's going on and that we're all one and part of one universe. But it's one of those things like, if you haven't watched The Matrix or Matrix Reloaded in a while, you should go back and watch it because it's fucking elite. And then another throwback movie you should watch is Battle Royale. This is what got me into kind of Asian films in the first place because I was like, wait, what the? Motherfuckers low-key stole their entire concept. Battle Royale, Hunger Games was basically like, I like that, give me that. But this is just like a little different, but much more violent and kind of crazy type of way. But this movie is elite, and it's kind of like, oh, so this is probably what would happen if humans had this type of opportunity, or if this happened to them, I could see this going down. And it's one of those things, like if you haven't seen it, you should go see it because it's really fucking good. And you should watch more foreign films, just watch the subtitles, because then you're like, oh wow, motherfuckers be cooking up. Elites, I'm trying to tell you. And I appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode of Iniquitous News. Don't forget to hate and subscribe. We closing in on 6,000, man. I didn't know how long of a slow grind this was going to be, especially compared to like, okay, Instagram, I have 240,000 people. TikTok, I got 360,000. But it's like the community that I've built here in YouTube is just like, I feel like it's so much more dedicated / y'all really take the time and watch long format, which a lot of people can't even do. They don't even have the attention span to do that shit anymore. So I appreciate the fuck out of y'all. We're going to keep on growing. We're going to get to 100,000, then we're going to get to 500,000, we're going to get to 1 million. Because slow grind better than no grind, baby. Some motion better than no motion. You feel me? But nah, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll catch y'all on Friday. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.